What is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football video. Today is the final draft recap on my channel from my last draft. Now, this draft was actually 2 or 3 days ago. All the information I'm going to be talking about is obviously current as of 9/1 as I'm recording this. Obviously, it's at night right now when I'm recording this, and if someone happens to tear their ACL or something, I won't be able to talk about that. So, like I said, this is a 12-team PPR draft. This is a draft recap. Pretty much what I do is I talk about all the players that got drafted, and then after that, I'm going to give team grades and talk about every single team individually so that you guys can gauge what I think of the teams of the league. So, this is also a league I helped draft with my dad. He was slot 11, we were slot 11, and we started the draft off pretty well, in my opinion. So before I start the video, I'd like to ask you guys, could please go down below and click that subscribe button. It would really mean a lot to me. So let's get, and it's also going to mean a lot to you actually, because I'm going to help you guys dominate your draft. And then during the draft, after the draft's over, you're going to keep coming back, and then you're going to dominate the regular season, then the postseason, and win your fantasy football trophy. Now, if you don't already have a fantasy football trophy, check out my sponsor in the description, draftbros.com. It's in the description. Use code Notorious at checkout to get 5% off. So let's get right into the video. So the first pick of the first round in a 12-team PPR draft was Saquon Barkley, pretty normal, followed by AK, CMC, Chubb. Now let me tell you, on Yahoo, Chubb's ADP, wherever he's positioned on the screen, he goes around pick like 4, 5, 6, 7. He never falls to the end of the draft, the end of the first round, or even to the second round, like you see on a lot of other websites. So after Chubb, DJ came off the board, followed by Zeke. And with Zeke, we really don't know what's happening. Now the news came out before I was recording this that it doesn't look like they're getting the deal done today on Sunday. So kind of worried, guys. But with that being said, I would kind of just avoid Zeke if you're still drafting now. After Zeke came off the board, Devontae Freeman, very early for Freeman. That's a hell of a reach. I hate Devontae Freeman. He's so injury prone. Drafting him in the first round is dumb. Followed by D Hop, Devontae Adams, James Conner, and then we went with Le'Veon Bell. Personally, in my opinion, he was the best running back available. I may have went with Conner over Bell. I don't really love having Bell because I don't think the Jets are going to be. I just don't think Adam Gase is smart enough to know how to run the ball with Le'Veon Bell, where they should give him like 20, 25 touches a game and just let him get 100 yards every game and score touchdowns. But I don't know if Adam Gase will let that happen. Hopefully he's smart enough to, but who really knows? So after Le'Veon, Julio came off the board, and then the second round began with Dalvin Cook being the first selection, and we went with Joe Mixon. Personally, I think Joe Mixon has the potential in a PPR format to finish as a top 10 guy. Now, a lot of people are worried about the fact that Cincinnati Bengals suck. And that's the same thing with Barkley. Oh, the Giants suck. It doesn't fucking matter that the Giants suck. He'll still be fine, and so will Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon's a pass catching back as well. He'll be catching those passes. Probably get around 50, 60 receptions and be pretty solid for your fantasy football team, so I like him in the second round. After Joe Mixon, OBJ came off the board, followed by Juju. I prefer Juju over OBJ, and I'd also prefer Michael Thomas over Juju and OBJ. Tyreek Hill, and then I'd take Tyreek over Odell. Travis Kelsey, Amari Cooper, very early for Cooper, probably a Dallas Cowboys fan. Are Aaron Jones, Mike Williams, AB, and then since this is a 6 point per passing touchdown league, Pat Mahomes went in the second round. You saw that in yesterday's video. That happened as well, so don't be too surprised when that happens. The beginning of the third round took off with Todd Gurley, the second, who I don't love picking. Picked him in yesterday's video because he fell to the third round. The value in the third round is kind of big for a guy that could finish as a top 5 guy, as long as that knee arthritis isn't too bad. So after Gurley came off the board, Allen came off the board, then Stefan Diggs, Leonard Fournette, Josh Jacobs, George Kittle, Zach Ertz. So the big 3 tight ends were already gone by the middle of the third round. Typically, I say they go by the end of the fourth round, but in a lot of these real drafts, I see them all gone by the third round. After Ertz, Damian Williams came off the board, followed by Carryon, Adam Thielen, and we went with our first wideout for our team. We had Le'Veon and Mixon, and then we added Robert Woods to the team. Robert Woods, in my opinion, could be a top 10 guy on the Rams. A lot of people argue, oh, Cooks is better than Woods, and I mean, like, I shouldn't have done that voice for that because Cooks could be better than Woods at the end of the season. I think they'll probably finish around each other, probably around the 11-12 mark for both of them. I like both of them as long as they could stay healthy, followed by Godwin. Now, let me talk about one pick here real quick. Which one was it? Damian Williams. Now, I'm scared of Damian Williams for the fact that LaShawn McCoy's in town. I think that it's just gonna LaShawn McCoy coming there just hurts everyone. Darwin Thompson kind of useless now. It hurts Damian, and it certainly hurts LaShawn, and it just hurts Damian too. So I would just avoid that as a whole. Round 4 began with Chris Carson, and then we went with David Montgomery. Wanted to get one of those running backs that I really liked. So now we have our we have 3 running backs, so 2 in the running back position, 1 in the flex. I wanted Chris Carson because I honestly think Chris Carson's going to be better because the Seahawks just run the ball so much. But David Montgomery's going to be solid this year. They're limiting Tariq's workload. It's going to be the David Montgomery show. in Chicago. So after Demont came off the board, Derrick Henry came off the board, followed by Melvin Gordon, Deshaun Watson, Kenny Galladay, Brandon Cooks, Calvin Ridley, Mike Williams, Marlon Mack, Mark Ingram, T.Y. Hilton. Then the fifth round begun with Julian Edelman, Tyler Boyd, Aaron Rodgers. So like I said, this is a 6 point per passing touchdown league. Deshaun went and then Rodgers went. So the quarterbacks do come off faster in that type of a league, followed by Duke Johnson pretty early in the fifth round. And then Matt Ryan, so four quarterbacks already off the board by the fifth round. Then then Tyler Lockett, then Russell Wilson. So now one. Oh God, I'm so fucking stupid. I just said the number 5 quarterbacks off the board already. That is crazy. I would not go Wilson that high. I'd rather have a guy like Breeze over Wilson. Sony Michel, OJ Howard, Cooper Cup, and then we went with Robbie Anderson. Now I don't love Robbie Anderson, but I do love what he did towards the end of last year with Mr. Aaron Donald, not Aaron Donald. Jesus Christ, guys, you're dealing with an idiot here. Not Aaron Donald, Sam Darnold, the quarterback of the Jets. I think that they will have a solid connection. Now, I don't necessarily love having two Jets in my starting lineup. I mean, how good could the Jets possibly be? But we have probably the two best Jet players to have on our roster. Round 6 begun with Hunter Henry, and then we were feeling the Giants fever or the New York fever. So we went with Evan Ingram. I thought Ingram was the best tight end still available. At the end of the day, I did kind of regret going tight end this early. I think our team could have been better if I just waited, but it seemed like the tight ends would have started going soon. So I figured I'd pull the trigger on a guy that I think could be a top 5 guy, even potentially number 4 if he stays healthy. It should be Kelsey, Kittle, Ertz, and then maybe Ingram, maybe Henry, could be Cooks, could be anyone really, could even be Mark Andrews. So it's kind of a crapshoot for the top 5 tight ends. After Ingram, Miles Sanders came out, and I probably forgot a bunch of tight ends to say there. So sorry if your favorite tight end, Mr. O.J. Howard, I didn't talk about at 5. So after Evan Ingram, Miles Sanders came out the board, followed by Allen Robinson, Alshon Jeffrey, Michael Gallup, Baker Mayfield. I would have had Baker 100% over Russell Wilson. Jared Cook, Jarvis Landry, Christian Kirk, Philip Lindsay, and Tevin Coleman. So the seventh round began with James White, Drew Brees, D.D. Westbrook, Jared Goff, Will Fuller, Kenyon Drake, Tariq Cohen, Sterling Shepard, Carson Wentz, Kyler Murray, and then we went with Latavius. Latavius, in my opinion, is just one of those guys that you draft that is just super safe. He's a guy that'll get you like 10 points every week, be a solid flex option. He can, if Alvin Kamara was to go down, he'd be a top tier running back, like a top 10 guy every single week, in my opinion, if Kamara was to go down. And if Kamara is even healthy, he's still a solid flex option. So after we went with Latavius, Flash Gordon came off the board, and then the eighth round began with Cam Newton. So we went with Jameis Winston. Personally, I was looking for Cam because I think if Cam stays healthy, he definitely has potential to be a top 5 guy. But I think Jameis also has potential to be a top 5 guy certain weeks where he's just slinging the ball because I think he's going to be throwing the ball a lot. He'll probably end up as a top 10 option. So I figured I'd pull the trigger in the eighth round when a lot of QBs were coming off the board. After we went with Winston, Curtis Samuel came out the board, followed by the worst pick of the draft, the Bears in the eighth round. Don't do that. Kyle Rudolph, Lamar Jackson, Jacksonville Jaguars, Jordan Howard, Vance McDonald, Darius Geis, David Njoku, Corey Davis. I would have personally rather have had Vance in the eighth than have went Evan Ingram in the sixth round, I believe. Yeah, the sixth round. If I don't know, I just don't like the team as much when I go tight end early typically. Team summed it up fine though. After Vance McDonald, Geis, Njoku, Corey Davis, the ninth round had begun with Mr. Darrell Henderson, followed by Eckler, Larry Fitz, the old man, Sammy Watkins, Dickie Dak Prescott, Greg Zerline. Then the Dallas defense. People picking defenses early. Then Minnesota. People are picking kickers early also because Greg Zerline went. And then Justin Tucker. Matt Breida. We went with Marvin Jones. I wanted Breida. He didn't fall to us, so we went with another wide receiver that I think could finish just as high as Kenny Galladay probably. They could probably both be solid flex options every single week. Galladay obviously probably finished slightly higher, but I think they'll finish around the same area. They're on the same team. That's why I'm comparing them. After Marvin Jones, MVS came off the board. And then Austin Hooper came out the board in round 10, and then we went with Rashad Penny. Now, I don't love Rashad Penny, but what I do love is the opportunity that he could eventually get. I like drafting him or Carson in every single draft because at the end of the day, I think that if Carson was to get hurt, Penny would be crazy good, and I think if Penny gets the correct usage, he could still be good even now with Chris Carson being the starter. So after Rashad Penny, Mark Andrews came out the board, followed by Rolls Royce, Badgley, Eric Ebron, AJ Green, Tyrell Williams, Stephen Gostowski, Emmanuel Sanders, LA Rams, Dante Moncrief, and then the 11th round began with Dante Pettis, Jamison Crowder, Delaney Walker, Jalen Samuel, Jimmy Graham, Philip Rivers, Cortland Sutton, Rex Burkhead, Big Ben, Geronimo Allison, and we went with Kiki Cootie, who's probably the best wide receiver available. Now, I don't love having him for the first couple of weeks because I honestly don't know if he'll play week 1, week 2, or week 3, but I know a couple weeks in the season he could be good. Now they added Kenny Stills to the roster, so will that hurt Cootie's value? Maybe. I don't really know what they're going to do with Stills. After we went with Cootie, the Chargers came out the board, followed by Harrison Bucker, and then we went with Darwin Thompson, which seemed like an amazing pick when I made it. Now probably terrible because Darwin Thompson's value is ass at the current moment because I don't know what they're going to do with Thompson, McCoy, and Damian Williams. So after that, Trey Burton came out the board, followed by Anthony Miller, TJ Hawkinson, Will Lutz, Deshaun Jackson, Denver D, Kissin Titties Trubisky, LaShawn McCoy, formerly of Buffalo, now of Kansas City, N'Keal Harry, Jordan Reed. And then the 13th round begun. 1 second, guys. I have to cough, and I'm not going to edit it. And we're biking. My chair just squeaked. Kalen Balaj, Aldrick Rosas begun the 13th round, followed by Marquise Goodwin, G-Reg, third leg. Tony Pollard, who looks like he could be useful now. I always thought he was useful, but I mean, Zeke, it doesn't seem like he's going to sign week 1. I'm very fucking nervous about that. Devin Singletary, Debo Samuel, Kareem Hunt, Rojo, Sam Donald, and then we went with Kyami Fairbairn. Now I tell you guys, don't go kicker or defense until the 14th round, the 15th round. I said, fuck it. I want Josh Allen. I think he'll be there in the 14th round. So I just went with a better kicker. Followed by Jimmy Garoppolo. And then the 14th round, we go with Peyton Barber. And then we got Josh Allen. Now, I like pairing Allen and Winston. They have 2 different buys. Both super high upside guys that you can just switch in and out each week when they have the better matchup. So after Allen, the Browns defense came out the board. Followed by Baltimore, Houston, Seattle, Jack Doyle, Brandon McManus, AP going psycho, Buffalo, Tom Brady, and then the New Orleans Saints. The 15th round began with Crosby, Kenny Stills, now of Houston, Jake Elliott, Kansas City defense, James Washington, New England, Jason Meyer, Philadelphia, Chris Herndon, Brett Maher, and we went with the Jets against the Bills. I know that was a stupid pick, but we didn't know which defense to pick. Philadelphia was gone. All the good, because team picked multiple defenses, so a lot of the good defenses were gone. So we went with the Jets. We're going to switch off of the Jets, and then the Mr. Irrelevant was the Indianapolis defense. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this portion of the video. Now we're going to get into the other portion of the video where we talk about each team, give them all a rating on the A, B, C, D, E, F, G type of scale. So, Hulk's amazing team. Pick 1 went with Saquon Barkley, followed by Pat Mahomes, Gurley, T.Y., Julian Edelman, Tevin Coleman, James White, Corey Davis, I hate, Darrell Henderson, Dante Moncrief, Dante Pettis, Jordan Reed. One of those, is this a 2 tight end team? No, they're not. They only have 1 tight end. Like that. Balaj, or New Orleans, and Mason Crosby. The fact that they followed the formula of only going 1 tight end, they only have 1 defense, 1 kicker, that already makes them better than a lot of other teams. Their start is pretty good. If Gurley's able to stay healthy, this team is one that I would fear with Barkley, Mahomes, and Gurley coming off as their top 3 picks. I really do like this team. I hate Corey Davis, but this team is B+. Pretty solid squad here if Jordan Reed could stay healthy. Hot girly summer. Pick 2 went with Alvin Kamara, followed by AB, Keenan Allen, Mark Ingram, who I hate, Tyler Boyd, Philip Lindsay, who I hate, Drew Brees, David Njoku, Austin Eckler, Rams defense early, Jamison Crowder, N'Keal Harry, Aldrick Rosas, Tom Brady, Kenny Stills. This team may have drafted defense early. They only have 1. They only have 1 kicker. Pretty solid team overall. While I don't like Ingram or Lindsay, if one of them pans out, this team could be pretty solid. If AB throws a temper tantrum, says, hey, Gruden, fuck off. I don't even know what accent I was doing there. I don't know how to do the AB voice. He's a fucking clown. That's what he sounds like. Oink, oink, you know? Goddamn clown. I don't even know how to... I tried to, like, honk a horn, you know, like the clowns. They have, like, the red nose. And you go, honk, honk, you know? Fuck, guys. I'm tired. It is 11 in the at night, and I'm just talking goddamn crazy. This team's pretty solid, though. B overall. Not amazing because I don't love Ingram or Lindsay, but if one of those guys pans out, obviously this could be a great squad. Holland Tunnel, guys. We can't read over here. Christian McCaffrey, Mike Evans, Diggs, Mack, Rogers, Christian Kirk, D.D. Westbrook, Darius Geis, Larry Fitz, Emmanuel Sanders, Delaney Walker, McCoy, Godwin, Buffalo, Jake Elliott. Round of goddamn applause. 1 defense, 1 kicker, and I believe 1 tight end. Hallelujah. Praise the fantasy gods. They did it correctly. This team's also pretty good. I don't really like Mac anymore in the 4th round, but I mean, he still definitely does have some value there. I love DD. I don't like Emmanuel Sanders. I'm pretty sure they're going to let go of him, or they did let go of him. I'm not sure if I can click on that to read that, so I'm not sure. Overall, pretty solid squad. That is a B team. Team Ray Lewis limo service. Pick 4 went with Chubb, Aaron Jones, Fournette, hate Fournette, Mike Williams, Duke Johnson pretty early, Landry, Goff, pretty early for Goff, Vance McDonald, Sammy Watkins, Stefan Gostowski, Jalen Samuel, Kissin Titties Trubisky, Greg, G-Reg, Olsen, AP, Kansas City. So they have 2 tight ends that docks you a point. They have 2 quarterbacks, but a lot of teams did that, so that doesn't really dock you a point. This team's also pretty solid. I don't really like Fournette all that much. I mean, I know he's a bell cow, but can he really stay healthy? Can he keep those off the field problems away from his game? Overall, probably also a solid team, but I'd go with a B minus on this team personally because I think that their bench is not that great. Don't love Samuel. Don't really love Olsen to be even a backup tight end. I'd just drop him. And AP, who really knows what that will be. So, Team 5, Frosty Feet. Obviously named after AB. Went with David Johnson, Amari Cooper. This is clearly the Dallas Cowboys fan. Terrible pick on Amari Cooper. Josh Jacobs, Calvin Ridley, Matty Ice, who I like. Jared Cook, Will Fuller, Jordan Howard, Dickie Dak Prescott, Tyrell Williams, Jimmy Graham, Denver D, Tony Pollard, Brandon McManus, James Washington. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. They do have 2 tight ends, only 1 kicker, 1 defense. Pretty solid. I like Johnson. I like Jacobs. I like Matt Ryan. I don't love going Dak in the 9th as your backup, but, that's just me. This team's also pretty solid. Probably a B to B minus squad. Team 6, Dave's nifty team. Notice how no teams have been completely terrible based upon my memory. Pick 6. Now we're halfway through. Went with, let me just cough again. Sorry there, guys. I fucking have to cough. So we went with Dave's nifty team. Pick 6 went with Zeke, Kelsey, Kittle. This is the ultimate double tight end strategy. Will it pay off? Having Kelsey and then Kittle in your flex. Who knows? I don't like it. But some people are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and like doing that. After Kittle, Brandon Cooks, Tyler Lockett, Baker Mayfield, Kenyon Drake, Jags D early, Greg Zerline, AJ Green, Phillip Rivers, Deshaun Jackson, Devin Singletary, who I love, Jack Doyle. Now this team, and then New England defense. So this team fucked up the golden rule of no 2 defenses. You can't have 2 defenses. I don't like 2 tight ends. This guy has 3 tight ends. Yeah, this is a fucking. This is an F. That's an F. Iceberg Q team went with Devontae Freeman, Tyreek Hill, Zach Ertz, Kenny Galladay, Russell Wilson, Gallup. Really early for Gallup, must also be a Cowboys fan. Tariq Cohen, Lamar Jackson, Dallas defense, Eric Ebron, Cortland Sutton, Will Lutz, Debo Samuel, Seattle, Jason Meyer. So we have reached the point where people are going with multiple kickers, multiple defenses. Another F for you out there, whoever you are. F, you can't be doing that. 2 tight ends, 2 kickers, 2 defenses. What are you smoking? Team 8, Team Nickelback, went with D-Hop, Michael Thomas, Damian Williams, Deshaun Jackson, Sony Michel, Alshon Jeffrey, Sterling Shepard, Kyle Rudolph. Minnesota defense, must love Minnesota. Badgley, Burkhead, Hawkinson, Kareem Hunt irrelevant, and then Houston, and then Philadelphia. This team has 3 defenses, guys. 3 defenses. I don't know if you just heard me smash my table. My fucking finger hurts because I just heard it. What the fuck are you doing? This team gets an F minus. Terrible. Hayes Horses, haha. Pick 9. They went with Devontae Adams followed by Juju. Great start of the draft. Kerryon Johnson. Now Melvin Gordon's looking irrelevant. It seems like he's not going to really do anything for the first 10 weeks. O.J. Howard, Allen Robinson, Carson Wentz, Chicago defense early, Tucker early, Royce Freeman, Big Ben, Anthony Miller, Ronald Jones, Baltimore, Chris Herndon. 2 defenses. You draft a defense in the 8th round. You follow one up in the 14th round. Doesn't help the fact that you have Melvin Gordon. The team otherwise was probably pretty good, but you can't be doing 2 defenses. This is a D team. The Book of Eli, Team 10 went with James Conner, OBJ, Thielen, Henry, Cooper Kupp, Miles Sanders, Kyler Murray. Sorry, guys. I know who he is. I'm aware. He's the Heisman winner. Curtis Samuel, Matt Breida, Mac Andrews, Geronimo Allison, Trey Boo, Sam Darnold, Cleveland defense, Brett Maher. A round of applause for this goddamn team. They have only 1 kicker and 1 defense. Praise the fantasy lord. Now, their team isn't even that good, in my opinion. I don't love OBJ. I don't love Henry. I don't love Kupp. But at the same time, this is a C team. At least they might have 2 tight ends. They only have 1 tight end. They're relying on Trey Burton, who's injured right now and not showing up to practice. Oh, no, they have Mark Andrews, so they did do the cardinal sin of 2 tight ends. But, overall, probably a C to C plus team. I don't really like some of the starters, but if Henry or Cup pan out, then that should be good. Team 11, Luca Brazzi, me and my dad's team. We went with Lev Bell, followed by Joe Mixon, Robert Woods, David Montgomery. The first 4 rounds are amazing. And then Robbie Anderson, Evan Ingram, Latavius Murray, Famous Jameis, Marvin Jones, Penny, Kiki, Thompson, Kyami Fairbairn, Allen, Jets defense. So we have a shitty defense. We're going to drop them. I don't like Darwin Thompson, but by the time I made the pick, I liked it. I don't really love Cootie. Overall, our starters are amazing. We have Bell, Mixon as our 2 running backs. Our 2 wideouts are Woods and Montgomery. Our flex is going to be David Montgomery. Our tight end is Evan Ingram. Our quarterback is Jameis Winston, and the bench is pretty good. I don't really love Darwin Thompson, like I said, but who knows? He could be our ticket to the ship. Maybe we should have probably picked up Justin Jackson if he's still available. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that after this. So I give our team a B plus. Now this is probably the lowest ranking I've ever given a team because I think if we went with Ingram later, I would have loved the team even more. Still solid, still probably gonna win the league because a lot of these teams are fucking garbage. Team 12, Julio Jones. Samus, Seamus, super team, Seamus super team. Julio Jones, Dalvin Cook, Chris Godwin, Chris Carson, double Chris on the team. DJ Moore, Hunter Henry, Josh Gordon, Cam Newton, MVS, Hooper, Chargers, Bucker, Jimmy Garoppolo, Peyton Barber, Indianapolis defense. So you started off strong, went with 2 defenses. Don't love Cook. Ultimately, probably will end up being good. Don't love Gordon in the 7th, but that's around where he goes. This team is a C to C plus, even though they drafted 2 defenses. Still a pretty solid squad. So thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the banter, the shitty jokes I've made throughout the video. I hope that you click that goddamn subscribe button because I want 2,000 subscribers. We're gonna take the fantasy football world by storm. Fuck all. I'm not gonna say fuck all the other people that make the videos. Obviously, a lot of them are very nice. They make good videos, but we're going to be the best, guys. In a couple of years, when you type in fantasy football, we'll be the first channel to show up, and I'm goddamn sure of it. So, thank you guys all for watching. I hope you motherfuckers enjoyed. Have a great goddamn rest of your day. I love you all. Goodbye. Mwah mwah.